But just like that infection you can't get rid of, art just keeps coming back. Shh, I won't tell anyone. How's it going, creeps? Welcome back to Cinema Creep. Cinema Creep is a place where we discuss, dissect, and review all things vile, disgusting, and downright terrifying in the world of horror cinema. Gather around because today we're diving into Terrifier 3. This is the latest installment in Damien Leone's circus of gore-filled grotesquerie. So as you guys already know, I'm a little late on the review for this one, even though this is a movie that I was extremely excited for. And I'm glad that I was a little late on it because I feel like with it being a Christmas-themed horror film, it's best watched in December anyways. So let's go ahead and let's get into it right now. Alright, creeps, so Terrifier 3 picks up 5 years after the events of its predecessor, Sienna Shaw, played by Lauren Lavera, and her younger brother Jonathan, portrayed by Elliot Fullman. They are struggling to rebuild their lives after narrowly surviving Art's rampage. But just like that infection you can't get rid of, Art just keeps coming back. Shh. I won't tell anyone. However, Art is not done yet. This time he's joined by Victoria Hayes, one of his former victims from the previous film, who is now possessed and acting as his sort of demented sidekick. And if you aren't already aware, this whole fucked up adventure takes place on corporate America's favorite holiday, none other than Christmas. Terrifier 3 is Leone's attempt at deepening the franchise's mythology and lore, while offering a mix of over-the-top gore, dark humor, and holiday-themed terror. Damien Leone delivers another blood-soaked spectacle that fans of the series will love, and fans of the series will devour. While suffering from what I like to call third in the franchise syndrome, the plot sometimes feels lost though, and the film feels like filler material. The film though is extreme, it's gross, and more than enough to give you that goregasm this holiday season. You know, if you're into that sort of thing, which, you know, I appreciate it from time to time. You know, a good goregasm does feel good.
Thrill me.
So what are my thoughts on Terrifier 3? The film begins with Art the Clown brutally killing a family during the Christmas holiday, which I thought was a brilliant way to open the film, and one of the few scenes of the movie and the franchise that I thought was beautifully shot. It felt all warm and cozy. After all, the Terrifier franchise isn't known for its cinematography. Yeah, that's not what we're here for. Just let's talk about the gore. This scene reminded me of Silent Night, Deadly Night, and Black Christmas, two of my favorite Christmas horrors, except Terrifier 3 isn't holding back as the movie lets audiences know early on, just like the previous films in the franchise, that Damien Leone is a sick bastard, and you have no other choice but to love it. And I know, the gore is, of course, one of the most important ingredients of a Terrifier film, and not something we can do without at this point, because the bar has already been set so high from the previous two films. The gore is here in all of its glory, and it's unrelenting. I will say I'm a person that appreciates a good gore film, or a good gore gross-out film, but I will say I am growing tired of it in the Terrifier franchise, and that's not something that I thought that I would say. You know, I hate the notion of shock value just for shock value's sake, because then it begins to feel cheap. And again, I don't mean cheap in a good way. I'm not sure if Damien Leone's intentions with Art's ruthlessness is an attempt to make him scarier, as it has the direct opposite effect on me. Because there is no suspense, there is no impending doom or dread in the Terrifier franchise anymore, like the first two films had, and that sort of kills something for me about the movie. You know, I want creepy Art back, not Art that is acting like a street performing mime. The special effects are great and the kills are creative, but like I said, they quickly lose their effectiveness when you see them time and time again. Gore scenes in horror, in my opinion, should be punctuations or exclamation marks in the film, not a constant. It should be a highlight of the movie. I just want to stop and say that I believe just as much as David Howard Thornton and Art the Clown make the Terrifier films, the films would lose so much if it wasn't for Lauren Lavera. Sienna's mental unraveling adds emotional weight and soul, not just to T3, but to the entire franchise of Terrifier. I also think it's worth mentioning Samantha Scaffidy's performance as Victoria is unsettling, and she delivers a truly gruesome transformation into Art's demented sidekick that deepens the film's lore and mythology. The Victoria character just looked so fucking gnarly in Terrifier 3. And you guys already know, of course, David Howard Thornton as Art. He's horrifying and great as usual. I will say, though, that this is my least favorite Art performance of the 3 films, though. Like I said, I think Art the Clown is becoming too self-aware, and if they aren't careful, the horrific humor will turn to just sheer corny, non-frightening, eye-roll-induced bad acting. When it comes to acting, though, the only thing that I wish I could have got more of is a better performance from Fulham, the actor that plays Jonathan. I don't feel like he's really blossomed as an actor yet and isn't ready for portraying the emotions that a character like Jonathan should be showing this far into this franchise. So with all of that said, I'm going to rate this movie a 3 out of 5 creeps. And I think it's a good movie, but I feel like it pales in comparison to Terrifier 2. And honestly, I felt that the movie was too fucking long, being over 2 hours long. So right now we're about to start talking spoilers, so if you haven't seen the movie, this is a good place to leave the video and come back after you've seen it. As I mentioned, the story is pretty lackluster, as the main ingredient of a Terrifier film is the gore, but I feel like Damien Leone has a plan for the franchise and the inception of Art. Even if that plan is convoluted and really not that interesting, or not that interesting yet anyway. You could see glimpses of this in T3 between all the gore when Sienna dreams of her father and his illustrations of the female superhero with the fire sword, which is a callback to Sienna's cosplay in T2 where she dresses up like the heroine. This will eventually have to be sorted out of how her father knew to create this mythical illustration and what sort of supernatural powers he may have given it. The mythology of Art is hinted at during the ending scene when Art and Victoria are torturing Sienna and Gabby, when Sienna kills Victoria with the sword, and then again when the ground opens up, revealing another dimension or hellscape in which Gabby falls into with the sword as Sienna is trying to save her. Now, it's definitely too early for me to say with certainty whether I like this lore for Art or not. I'm just going to have to see where the next film takes it, but it's looking like we're going to get some sort of interdimensional or cosmic horror spin on this franchise, and I'm not totally sure how I feel about that yet. And another big story point going forward is now all of Sienna's family is now dead, with the exception of Gabby being potentially alive in whatever hellhole she fell into. We saw the film allude to the death of Jonathan when Art put his skull on the mantle with his little glasses on it. This will be interesting to see how that takes its toll on Sienna in the next film as well, since Jonathan was sort of her comfort zone, her safety, and you know, the only person that has survived living through all of this craziness with her. Even though I was hoping for more out of Terrifier 3, it served its purpose for me, letting me know that Damien Leone is the new special effects king of horror. My favorite kills were the chainsaw shower kill, extremely brutal, and I'll never pass up a good chainsaw kill seen in a horror movie ever. Doesn't matter who it's coming from. I also like the entire bar scene where Art freezes Santa and pulverizes him with a hammer. I thought that was pretty gnarly, and it was actually pretty creative, and was not expecting that type of kill either. When he puts the carrot on his nose, hilarious. But that's it. That's my review for Terrifier 3. So don't forget to let me know how many creeps you would rate Terrifier 3 down in the comments, and let me know what your favorite kill from Terrifier 3 is as well. Also, don't forget to check out the description for cool ways to help support the Cinema Creep channel. Last but not least, don't be a chud and like the video if you liked it, and don't forget to subscribe so you don't miss any more killer horror content here from the Cinema Creep channel. And as always, stay creepy, and I will see you guys on the next one. See ya.